Hello, my name is Quin, and today I'm going to be talking to you about what's probably kind of an unfamiliar topic. The topic is about cryptozoology and why it should be considered a science. Cryptozoology is kind of a very debatable topic about what it is and isn't, but there are two accepted definitions of what cryptozoology is. The first one is, it's the search for and study of animals whose existence or survival is disputed or unsubstantiated. The second one is, it's very similar, the study of and search for animals, and especially legendary animals such as Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster. I'm sure you could list off a few more, usually in order to evaluate the possibility of their existence. So basically, I think it could be very fairly said that cryptozoology is trying to find animals that have been mentioned in folklore and in the history of the world ever since people have started talking about their past and the present and so on and so forth. However, according to science experts, quote unquote, cryptozoology is a pseudoscience. Now, for those of you that don't know what a pseudoscience is, it is a collection of beliefs or practices mistakenly regarded as being based on scientific method. So they're basically saying that cryptozoology is not a part of science. It has nothing to do with science. It's fake. But let's get this straight. So trying to find unknown animals, that is somewhat based on folklore, but more so based on sightings and footprint and similar evidence that these animals could or sometimes leave behind, is not science. That doesn't sound right, does it? As an example, if we think about the billy ape, for 50 plus years, pseudoscience cryptozoologists, or basically people trying to find unknown animals, for 50 plus years, they studied images and videos and eyewitness accounts of people saying that they saw this ape, that it wasn't like any other ape that they have ever seen before. So for 50 plus years, cryptozoologists kept telling the scientific community that, hey, there's a different kind of ape out here, and it's not a gorilla, it's not a chimpanzee, but they would not listen to them. Until one day, a scientist, not a zoologist, but a scientist, stumbled upon one of these during an expedition that he was studying plants. And so, ever since then, scientists have recognized that the billy ape is part of the ape family. It's not a gorilla, not a chimpanzee, etc. And that was recognized only 17 years ago. I'm 17 years old, so that discovery is not that old. However, cryptozoologists were saying that there was something different for over 50 years. Now, let's say if that 10, 15 years had passed, how much more research could have been done on that animal until, 50 years later, now they're just starting to see what this animal is. But that's not the only example. For example, the giant squid. During the days of Columbus in the 1500s, sailors would talk about these giant sea creatures that were, like giant squids. And then 100 years ago, it was finally recognized that there is a giant squid that is a completely different kind of squid. Also, you have the panda bear. Cryptozoologists of old would say there is a black and white bear living in the Chinese hills and mountains. Science said there's no way that area could not support a bear or a population of bears. It's strictly impossible. What's there that we know for a fact now? Panda bears, a black and white bear that science said that there's no way possible. So there's nothing wrong with science saying it's unlikely and it's improbable, but the fact that they're literally trying to stop cryptozoologists from finding these new animals, that is what's wrong. So what's happening is cryptozoologists are saying, hey, we think there's something different out there, and here's some of the evidence that we have, but we need more support and more backup because we can't do it by ourselves. And science saying no, because your whole organization is based on fictitious things and there's no way possible that the animal that you're talking about can exist. So if you run across something that has anything to do with cryptozoology or even science, it sounds outlandish. It could be outlandish and it could be fictitious and it could be fake. But before you completely say that it is out of this world and impossible, at least give it a fair shot. Don't just write it off because science says it's impossible. Because who knows, maybe it is just like the panda bear and the billy ape.